Good morning, everybody. I don't know if you can you see me? Can you hear me? Am I live? Can you guys hear me okay? Perfect. All right. Well, good morning. I've got a bit of a croaky voice, so I apologize in advance for the sound of my voice. I've been unwell, one would say. I'm going to switch glasses now. Just so you know, I'm going to switch glasses because I want to look at this camera. Morning, everyone. But I need the other glasses for my computer, so that way I can read comments and everything else. We've had a few technical difficulties this morning, but that's all right. That's all part of the fun of live. I mean, your heart races a bit more than what it should, but it's all good. We've got Mike. He's coming on. He's had some problems with his computer. So while we're waiting for him to sort of reboot and all the fun technical stuff, because we actually test in advance. But I love that the technology goes, you know what? I'm gonna make it interesting for you this morning, and we're gonna do this. So it is what it is. All right, switch him. Boom! Look at these two cameras. Forget about it. It looks great. All right, I'm gonna switch glasses so I can see you guys. Now I do have my mate this morning, just to give you a heads up, because I woke up late. Like I said, I've had a terrible night last night. I got a croaky voice and everything, so I need my mate for extra energy. Oh wow! Check it out. I've got. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm going to call you Sipho. South Africa's in the house. That's what I'm going to say. Good to see you guys. Max, technology and kids. Yeah, they don't go well on a Monday morning. I totally agree. Good thing we're all adults here. That's the thing, though. Sandy from Northern Ireland. Who else we got in the house? We got Mercedes from Spain in the house. We've got Luke from Queensland. Buongiorno, my friend. Jared from the US. Great to see you here. Mike, thanks for coming back. Actually, I had a lot of great comments about you, Mike, from your last thing. So thanks for stepping out and being one of those members who got spotlighted. Fred, boom. Welcome. Good to see you, mate. Let's have a look. Did you like my music, by the way? Did you like my little intro dance? Last time around, I felt like it just started and it felt a little bit sort of, so we're going to get better at it, you know? So I wanted to create like a little intro, you know, anyway. So the next one, Gerard's in the house from the Netherlands. Man, we've got the whole world here. We're coming together. Who else we got? Let's have a look. Thomas from the Netherlands also. Good to see you, my friend. Actually, Thomas, I'll put out a call out to, if you want to become a member, every month we do a raffle. It costs $4 to become a member. And Thomas, he won the last one, and he asked me for a collection of stuff. Now, I'm going to say, Thomas, I'd love you to, if you can put in which one really pinged for you, because I put a whole collection of different samples in there. Was there one? And what I did, Thomas, on purpose, that is a few where I thought, I reckon he'll like these. And then I put a few extras that I thought, you know, maybe now I'm going to sort of push him out a little bit, knowing that he likes these other things, and see what works. So if something pinged for you, I'd love to see what that was, Thomas. All right, I'm going to turn off my computer. Not my computer, my Outlook. All right, Netherlands. What else we got? All right. So I love yes. So you're enjoying. I appreciate that. Grazie. It's very kind. Appreciate the kind sentiment. So I think just on that, by the way, the reason why it's about the art of perfumery, and this is what I always try to elaborate more on, and how perfume is more about pleasure and joy than it is about breaking down. I mean, yes, we want to break down notes because, you know, sometimes our brain wants to know exactly what's happening, but it's really about pleasure. I mean, and actually the best example is when you go to a beautiful restaurant. I'm going to switch glasses. When you go to a beautiful restaurant and you're enjoying this meal, you're not breaking down the composition of that meal. You know, like, hang on a second, I can just taste a little bit of saffron in it. You're just enjoying the whole thing. So I think perfumery should be the same. Yes, our brain wants to know, is that pink pepper that I'm detecting, or is that just a berry tone, you know? But at the same time, you really, yeah, it's just enjoy the composition, enjoy how it makes you feel. That's the importance of it. All right. So what I want to do today, I have a collection of, actually, stop. I'm going to keep, oh my gosh. Vera's in the house. Vera, good to see you. I know that it's, all right, so here's another question. Actually, let me answer, let me look at Thomas's thing first. So okay, so I sent through to Thomas, again, part of the, let me send you something every month. We spin the wheel, a lucky person will get, you tell me what you like, and then boom, I'll send that out to you anywhere in the world, anywhere in the world. So Thomas is from the Netherlands. Now, the one that you just pointed out there, Thomas, actually, I'll get that. I'm going to push that onto the screen. So this one here, and I can never pronounce it right, and I promise I'm going to do a full foyer lineup of fragrances, and I think it's called, I think the way you pronounce it is, it's chocolate, but it's chocoto, something like that. It's the actual native word from the Aztecs on how they would call chocolate. Now, I'm glad that you love that one. That is the most divine fragrance. It's boozy. It has sometimes chocolate can be accentuated like a chocolate in a fragrance, whereas here it's more the cacao. It's the deep sort of woody tones. It's almost like dark in its construct, but glorious fragrance. I don't know how it's, I mean, it's a little tester, so, you know, I don't know how it performs on you, but my full bottle of that is just glorious. All right, Mike, Perseus of my new, okay, yeah, well, actually, I don't have, oh, yeah, no, we do have, well, we've got Perseus. So today I've got lined up here a range of fragrances from Parfums de Marly, or Parfums de Marly. And I've got Mike, who's going to be helping us out. Now, Mike still, poor Mike. Mike still hasn't jumped on yet, so I haven't seen him come in through on the back end of the system. So I'm hoping that Mike is okay. Failing that, I have all the samples here, and we'll spray together. We'll work this thing out. So it's all good. All right. We also have, just to let you know, we had a promo running over the last 2 weeks with all things Xerjoff. And I'm going to announce the winner today. So I've got all the winners now. I had the good people from Libertine Parfumery who contacted me this morning. They closed the promotion last night. And we had some orders come through at the final hour, literally at the finish line. There's a gentleman by the name of Gary. Gary, if you are watching, Gary managed to punch in these orders at the last minute. So good on you, mate, for coming in at the last second there. So we're going to do that live today on this. So that should be a bit of fun. Becoming a member soon. I'll request you some more entire collection though. Yes, well, Sip, I'm going to call you Sip if you don't mind. So let me know if I can. Yes, so Sip, yep. Become a member. It's a lot of fun. It gives me a chance to connect with you in a much more personal way because now you tell me what you love and I can send that out to anywhere in the world. Vera, I agree. Xerjoff is pure magic. I totally agree with that. I very much enjoy it. Now, excuse me, I'm going to have some mate, everybody. Here's a question. What's everyone wearing today? So what's our perfume of choice? I'd love to see some are you guys repping your PDM? So for those who have already converted over to PDM, I'd love to see what you're wearing. I'm not wearing anything today. believe it or not. I woke up and it was actually, I got myself ready. I showered up, and I was going to reach for a fragrance, and my brain, part of my brain is going, no, just stop. You're going to be covered in perfume today, because I do want to put some of these on my skin. But yeah, I feel very naked. I feel very a little bit. All right, baby cat. I haven't experienced baby cat yet. I've heard a lot of great things about it, but I haven't come across it yet. Naxos, boom to you. I like that we got KALAN in the house. Do I have KALAN? Yes, I have here. Yep, I actually. Oh, okay. So there was a question here. Do I have to be on Insta? So my producer's on the side here helping me out. My producer, who is / financier. So this person is multitasking, which I'm appreciative. You don't have to be a member. You just jump on you jump on YouTube. You'll see that as you go to the landing page. For some reason, on some phones it works, on some phones it does not. So you got to do, the best thing to do is do it off a desktop. I find that Chrome is the best sort of application for that. And you'll see that there's a join button. Hit that join button. You can turn it on and turn it off as you wish. So, yep. All right, question. I like questions. Hit me. All right, Sip, your view on the new Herba Pura. Okay, so the bottle shape or the actual fragrance itself? Question. I'll wait for your response. And let me just put this one forward. So Raxo. I love Oillataguerre. So for those who may have seen it or may have missed it, I did a Xerjoff Part 3, covered 7 different fragrances. Part 4 is coming out in probably about 4 weeks time. And I'm putting in some more. So the Part 3 was very sort of, these are really, really good fragrances. Part 4 will have some ouds and some other fragrances in there, some other sort of different fragrances. And Oillataguerre is going to be in there. So Oillataguerre is glorious, just spectacular. If you haven't experienced that one, strongly recommend it. It does have a little bit of oud in the base, but I'll actually wait till the Oillataguerre, test it out. You're going to love that. Ooh. Funny, I had it here, but I may have taken it back to the house. My very first niche was Santa Maria Novella. I was doing a walking tour through Florence, and the person that was taking us on this tour came to the Santa Maria Novella chapel, and then started to talk about how the monks in 1221 were creating fragrances, boom, and then started telling me about Caterina de' Medici and how before she went to France, she had the monks make her a special perfume. I'm listening to all this and I'm like, whoa, wait up. Because up until that stage, just, this is back in 2017, up until that stage, I've always been into perfume, even as a kid. And I had a very, very big designer collection. Not as big as my niche run right now, but a very big designer collection. I mean, to the point where people would come to, and there's no exaggeration, people would come to my house to spray different designer fragrances that I had, and then go off to a date. I mean, my brother would do it constantly, etc. So when I found out that this niche, I thought the designer fragrances were the only people who were making perfume. I didn't realize that there was this, this other category called niche perfumery, who now make smaller batches and they make, more artistic stuff. And sometimes they make things that may not necessarily appeal to a full market. Anyway, so I walked into the Farmacia, which was it's been there since 15 something. If you haven't been to Florence, you need to go. Santa Maria Novella, check that place out. It's incredible. And I bought, at that stage, it was called Santa Maria Novella Original, which was just the fragrance that was made for Caterina de' Medici. It's now called Acqua della Regina, and it's the original recipe of what was created for Caterina as she went over to France. It is the most spectacular citrus explosion. In that, I had my financier with me. I managed to negotiate with her. I think she was also in love with the whole paneling and the place and how this whole place looked. and we walked away with about 5 different fragrances. That was the beginning of the end. From that moment forward, I came back. I slowly decided to reduce my designer fragrances. And when I was at the point where I just couldn't use them anymore, I just gave the rest away, and then went all in when it comes to all things niche perfumery. Boom, there's a long story. You asked a simple question, I gave you a very long answer. The bottle. So the bottle has changed because of, now there's something quite complex, and I'm not going to talk about it on a live because I want to, so there's more to this story than what meets the eye. The whole Velvet collection, and there's another brand called Suspiro, but I'm not going to talk about that on a live because whatever you say on a live stays on a live, and we ain't going to do that. So I'm happy to have this conversation offline, and that way it remains more, because I work with a lot of, well, I reach out to a lot of these brands. I'm in contact with the brand owners and stuff. So yeah, but the new texture of the bottle, I don't mind it. So to answer your question, Sip, it's a very vibrant bottle. The new, what we used to be called the Velvet collection from Xerjoff is now the V collection, and I don't mind it. I actually like the bottles. I think the bottles are very striking on your shelf. They look quite nice. The texture is different. Obviously, it doesn't have that beautiful velvet to it, but anyway. Oh, good Pat. I love that fragrance. It's a gorgeous fragrance. That is one of the most spectacular ouds. We don't have it in this country, believe it or not. I had a chance to test it when I was in Paris, but that is gorgeous. And one of my favorite perfumers, which I always mispronounce his name for. So it's Julien Rasquinet. I think I said that right this time. Julien Rasquinet. Lord. All right. So, well, I'm sorry to say, but my good friend, Mike, just, hey, all right. So I can see Mike. He's just popped up. I can see his face. So Mike is in the house, which is great. I was about to take you through the Parfums de Marly's. Without any real knowledge, because I don't own these in my collection. But you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to push. Actually, before I push you, Mike, I'm just going to check this out. Any last comments? Anyone that I should answer before we hand over? All right. So Walid, hey man, good to see you, brother. Good to see that you're here. Is there a difference between the Suspiro Herbal Leather in the velvet bottle and the standard bottle? That one I'm not, because the only one that I know is the herbal leather in the velvet. So you must have seen it somewhere else. Let's talk about this offline, because I know that Suspiro have been doing fragrances for a very long time. Suspiro, a lot of people think Suspiro are new to the market. In fact, I think they launched back in 2006. So it gives you an idea how long they've been around. So maybe offline we can talk a bit more about that. All right.
Hey guys, how are you?
Welcome to the house.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, isn't it the way? I love tech. I mean, I was saying to everybody that we tested in advance. We were like pushing this thing, and is it all? Everything was running smoothly. And then in the morning, the computers, everything else goes, nah, not bothered.
Yep, too early. 100%, right? And apologies, I was ready to go from like 8 o'clock in the morning. But then the last was a dash. So I might as well have not.
I can imagine. Funny, because I couldn't see you coming on. I couldn't see you coming on, and I'm like, I was like a mental picture of you just, like in that one scene in The Incredibles, where Frozone's going, honey, where's my suit? And I can hear you yelling, going, where is the cable? Yeah.
I have to give credit to my wife, Mel. She's the one who kind of helped me, as is always.
I can imagine.
to work the tech and get in there.
She's the producer. So I've got my producer here today. So, we always need a good producer to help.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you can't do it.
Absolutely.
All right, look, what I'm going to do, Mike, to make this. I'll say that again. Sorry, buddy.
I said apologies for the delay. No,
don't sweat it, man. It's all good. One thing I've discovered with live is that live has its own energy. So meaning that I feel it's an in the moment experience, So, and I think part of it, the in the moment experience is the mistakes that you make. I think that's what makes it I mean, you want to clear those mistakes and not make it, too crazy.
Yeah.
But it's also that's part of the joy. All right. So what I'm going to do what I'm going to do here, and look, Mike and I have been talking behind the scenes, but just so everybody's aware, I am new to Parfums de Marly. I have experienced them in the past. I don't own any. All right. So just give you a heads up that where I stand on all this. So for me, I'm just going to be a gentle passenger in the background. I will be asking some questions. I will be your voice to the public. So we can see the number of comments are coming through. So we'll just check that and then raise those questions.
Awesome.
Mike, you take the floor. The one thing that I'd love is, and we talked about this, but just so that we remember that it's more about, I'd love to know why you bought this. How does it work for you in your experience in your life when you like using it? And then give me a little bit on its performance, its sillage. I mean, from your experience, all right? So it doesn't have to be, it's not complete technical, but from your experience, the sillage, projection, what's the response you get when you wear these, yada, yada, yada. Cool. Floor is yours.
So I thought, Marcelo, just I'll start off with the intro to the house itself, and then sort of take it from there. So if anyone doesn't know or is new to the house, kind of a little bit of a backstory to the house. But if anyone is aware of the house and knows the house, and if I'm off the beaten path, then correct me in the chat, in the comments below as well, please. So anyway, so Parfums de Marly started around 2009 by a gentleman called Julien Sprecher, and it pays homage to 18th century, to the 18th century, when presumably the greatest perfumes were made for King Louis XV. And Parfums de Marly takes its name from the House of Marly, so or the Horses of Marly, apologies, which was also commissioned by Louis XV in 1743. So if you have a bottle of Parfums de Marly, I'll just get one that's a little bit clearer. And if you look at sort of the edging and the sort of lettering there, I'm not sure if you can see that, it'll say 1743 on it, which commemorates that year. And also the names are sort of reflective of the horses themselves. So hence the names, Percival, Layton, so on and so forth, are named after horses as well. So in my opinion, the way I got into Parfums de Marly was, as all of us, I started my niche journey late 2021, and Creed was my inception into niche. And I was hearing a lot of chatter on PDM fragrances. And sort of my discovery and stumble was, I blind bought them, as you know, Marcelo. And my wife's listening, so I'm going to be in deep doo-doo after this. But I did blind buy them. And for me, over that period, just discovering them, it's almost a yin and yang situation where Creed's your yin, your white and light, sort of airy perfume, fresh. And then you got your yang, which is PDM fragrances to me, which is your darker, heavier sort of fragrances. And, if you look at it, Creed sort of goes down that, like I said, lighter fragrances, and sort of summer focus, warmer days sort of focus, whereas PDM's more winter, cold weather type fragrances in general. So it's a French house. It sort of goes away from your traditional French perfumery, which is sort of closer to the chest and sort of intimate. This is more a Middle Eastern twist to it, where it's more projecting and more louder, long-lasting. So that's another thing to keep in mind with the type of perfumery you get out of it. They've got about 38 perfumes in the lineup since 2009. About 8 to 10 of them are focused towards women specifically. And then the rest are sort of unisex, but more masculine leaning fragrances in the lineup. They do have some pretty impressive perfumers under their sort of house banner as well, or that drop in and out. Hamid Meretti Kashani being probably their main perfumer there. He's also done stuff for Goldfield and Banks and Fragrance du Bois as well. We also have master perfumer Olivier Perchox, who passed away unfortunately last year in July, who's done things for Diptyque, Versace, Montblanc, Essential Perfumes, and so on and so forth. And of course, the famous Quinton Biche as well, who's done Marc-Antoine's Bourgeois' Ganymede. He's done a fair bit of a lineup for Jean-Paul Gaultier, Amouage, Paco Rabanne, and Essential Perfumes as well. Lastly, I just want to say, just from the house itself, it has a sister brand called Initio Parfums as well. And they were recently acquired by a private equity company called Advent International. And this is Advent International sort of first dabble into perfumery as well, just like BlackRock was for, or Creed was for BlackRock. Awesome. So any questions on that or any commentary around that story?
Not for me.
No? Cool.
Some of that part, some of those stories or some of the things that you just shared, I was aware of. And but I didn't realize that their library was so vast, that they had so many. Funny, I thought we were going to cover quite a bit in today's lineup, but in fact, we're only not even scratching the surface. So
No.
which is pretty wild. Yeah, pretty wild.
So I've got 7+1, and I'll say 7+1 because you don't have the sample for one of them.
Correct.
So we'll use that as a bonus on the side. Correct. Because that's relatively new to me as well. And just
from a timing point of view, my good friend, we're I'd like to take this till about say 9:50. So we've got about 20 minutes or so, because I'm doing we're going to do the live winner for the Erba Gold, and then we're going to wrap up. Yeah.
Excellent. I will try and keep it to that time frame.
Oh, no.
Because we can get caught up and
as Yoda would say, there is no try, there is only do. So we will do.
All right, I will do. Okay.
I'm giving you a heads up.
Awesome. So I thought we'll start off with sort of the lighter fragrances or the fresher fragrance. I wouldn't call them light, but I'll call them fresher fragrances. And then we'll sort of move into the heavier ones. So we've got 3 that I own out of the 4 that they've got. So the first one, yes, Marcelo.
Oh no! I'm listening.
This
is just me. I'm always moving. So yeah, so I'm
cool.
listening.
So the first one I want to talk about is Percival, and Percival was released in 2018. It's categorized as a citrus aromatic fragrance. And it's one of those all year round fragrances, to be honest. It's got sort of lavender, mandarin, and bergamot sort of up top, and sort of has a balsam fir note to it. I don't really know, Marcelo, if there's many perfumes with balsam fir that I've experienced.
I don't know either. Yeah, I don't know. I have heard of that note, and I have experienced it, but I don't, off the top of my head, I don't know.
But it's a very likable scent. It's not, anything sort of out.
Now, brother, I don't have that sample here. I don't have Percival.
Right. So we'll put that in the back. But
so I'll just listen to what you have to say.
Sure. So with this one, it's like I said, it's all year round. It's a really good work scent. The other thing I just want to bring up is, I know, Marcelo, you've got a ranking of, semi-pro, beginner, blah, blah. This house just falls into that starter semi-pro category.
So it's new recruit. Normally it's new recruit, semi-pro, veteran, and 5-star
and
general.
5-star general.
New recruit and semi-pro. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. So it's a great house for people who are getting into niche.
Yeah. And actually, that was my thing in experiencing these ones here, because all the ones that I have in front of me, I've tested each one of them, and they were instantly like, oh yeah, that's pleasant. Oh, that's nice. There was only one, and we'll come to it when you get to it. That was like, whoa, what's going on here? But other than that, I'm like, as a new recruit, it'd be an easy way to walk into it. Yeah.
Absolutely, and it's good for and again, for me, starting that journey and getting into the house was a really good introduction into the notes and the into actually owning a good perfume, because a lot of people outside of the community want a good perfume, so that lasts long and that's got good quality, and these have good quality ingredients in them, and they've been built really nicely and they're quite wearable. So that's Percival. Longevity on my skin, 5 to 6 sprays. Lasts about anywhere between 5 to 7 hours, depending on the weather.
5 to 6 sprays, man, I would die. I'm giving you a heads up. 5 to 6 sprays, my brain will just be pop, you know. But anyway, but obviously I need to experience that. I haven't, based on the ones here, I already know. Like, I think there's also here, I'll shut up. I'll listen to you.
No, that's fine. And the reason I say 5 to 6 is because it's not loud as the others. So it's a bit more subtle. And that's the reason why.
So which one are you spraying? Show me the bottle.
So that is this one here.
Okay, because let me have a look. I've got, so I don't know the bottles as well as you do, my friend.
Sure.
But I actually,
So
it's not Layton, is it?
No. So this one,
Yeah.
so that's, I don't know if you can see the colors, but Layton's almost like really dark blue, Marcelo.
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah. All right, okay, cool. Yeah, Percival, yeah, I don't have that one, unfortunately, yeah.
Awesome. So we'll move to the next one.
Yes, sir.
Which is SEDLEY.
Okay. All right, I have a photo.
So SEDLEY was released in 2019. It's categorized as a woody aromatic. This one is a summer high heat fragrance. And it's also an outdoor fragrance.
Yeah.
This is sort of a beautiful lemon mint bergamot sort of opening, which is really, really nice. It's really fresh. It's very different. However, although my wife likes the opening of it, she's not a big fan of the dry down on it. So, and one spray goes a long way with this. If you wear this indoors, I would recommend one spray.
Yep.
Outdoors, maximum 3 sprays, because it projects 9 to 10 hours on my skin. And it just has a wonderful sillage, but it's one of those things that inside a closed area can get very overpowering.
Okay, it's a bit heady, right?
Yeah. And that's what I meant when I said they're very heavy fragrances.
Yep.
For a fresh fragrance, that is pretty heavy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I actually I sprayed all these yesterday, and I actually put them on skin.
Right.
I have to agree with Mel. I found that the dry down wasn't. I mean, I enjoyed the opening. It reminded me a little bit of Silver Mountain Water without the fruit note that's in there.
Yep.
That sort of very sort of.
It doesn't have that metallicness of Silver Mountain Water either.
Yeah, right.
But I'm guessing
the dry down was a bit musky, so I don't know what the note structure is, but I found that the dry down on me was a little bit on the musky side of things,
which is interesting because the musk note is not sort of spoken about.
Right.
It's patchouli and sandalwood.
Right. Okay.
And vetiver. Musk could be coming from the ambroxan, maybe. But it's weird.
I know one thing for certain on me. I do amplify. So I do have a natural musk that it seems to push itself out on my skin, and I've joked about it before. It's my masculineness that I have. It's all the mutta that I drink. But I do seem to, for some reason, some fragrances have more of a musk sort of presence. Anyway, but yeah, this on opening was beautiful.
Yeah, I love the opening. It's my son Tyler's one of his favorites as well.
Right.
He likes those fresh fragrances, but it works well on his skin. As you know, he's got a perfect perfume skin, to be honest, and so it works on him. The next one is actually the newest perfume. which was released on the 13th of March over here in Australia. I managed to pick this up just before that.
I've already tested this too. I tested it.
Perseus.
Do you want to tell them the story?
Hey? No,
You want to tell everybody the story?
You tell them the story.
So I have a thing overtly green to the point of being almost cannabis. I have a hard time with that very sort of punchy sort of note. And I sprayed it on my skin. And next, Mike was like, here, test this. And he went to get a strip. I'm like, no, don't waste it. Put it on my skin. Anyway, I sprayed it. And he looked at me like, are you sure? I mean, like, so I sprayed it. And I tried to be as neutral as possible in my expressions. And I always say this, if I like it, you'll tell. You can tell if I'm enjoying the fragrance or not. And I saw it in my brain, it's like, this is what you think you look like, and this is what you look like. And I thought I was neutral. I thought I was doing this. I'm like, yes, very nice. But in fact, I went, oh my gosh, what is this? So I felt
it was a Kodak moment, to be honest.
honestly, I thought I was being neutral. I've now discovered it's a very, so what it is, and Mike will tell you more, it's that very sour grapefruit. It's very, that citrus grapefruit is really like, and I think it has some other green notes in there, vetiver or something or other, but it's really
a very dry green perfume. And that's the thing about it is, and I think that greenness is coming from the green mandarin and the vetiver mix.
Right.
Because it does have green mandarin in it. And the opening is similar to sort of Roger Dove's Elysium Eau Intense kind of opening.
But that sounded very similar to Burlington 1819.
Did you? Okay. And that might be the grapefruit.
Yeah. But the difference with the Rogers version is it's a lot more rounder, whereas I found like this was very sharp, very just like boom,
Correct. Like and wearing it, and again, this is an all year round perfume too. It's not specifically summer specific, but you can wear it comfortably, and it's not overly offensive. But there is
ready? Watch this. That's Perseus. Now look at this. You ready? It's skin worthy.
Yes.
I wore it yesterday, so now I understand that very sharp, very green opening. But yesterday, as I covered in perfume, the one that was very distinct was this one here. I'm like, whoa, this dries down like a sweetheart. It's just really
absolutely. It is, and it just keeps wafting through. Like it disappears and comes back. But on strip, you don't get the full experience of it, and it doesn't smell like anything on the strip. Actually, to be honest, which is interesting. And again, 7 hours plus for that.
Yeah,
and that's like 2 to 3 sprays.
Yeah, I believe it. See, I'm in that opening. I'm not a fan of that opening. I'll be totally honest with you. It's that very cannabis, very green, that very sharp grapefruit note that's in there. Almost, sour.
But it disappears after about an hour. That's as far as it goes, max. And then it kind of goes into that green mandarin. I don't know about you, Marcelo, when you're testing, but I don't get that grapefruit or bergamot note after that first hour.
Totally. I thought you didn't get it at the opening. I'm like, oh my gosh.
No.
Even a dead person can go, whoa, what did you just spray? It was like,
cool. And then their fourth sort of fresh fragrance is called Greenly. I don't have that one, but it's a green apple sort of oriented fragrance as well.
I've sprayed that. Actually, that's very pleasant. So I was in the Libertine store in Meyer, and when it just got launched, and I remember spraying that, and that is very pleasant.
Yeah, a lot of people. It's over the, I guess, Sadley and Greenly are the two similar sort of transparent bottles that they've got. Greenly seems to be the one that a lot of people like, to be honest. And mind you, Sadley was reformulated when it was first released. A year later, they reformulated it and re-released it, which is why it's a little bit more popular now. But when it was first released, people didn't really enjoy the scent, because I think that undertone that you were mentioning was too powerful. So now we move to sort of the heavier, colder weather scents.
Right.
So first one I want to talk about is KALAN. This is my scent of the day as well. And for me, KALAN is a scent memory. I did blind buy this one.
Are we admitting to this, are we?
Yes.
Mel can hear this now.
And so this one to me, so I'm Sri Lankan, and from this point onwards, all the perfumes I'm gonna talk about are ones that I will buy another bottle of because I absolutely love them. KALAN is it divides the community. People either hate it or love it. There's no in between with this one. For me personally, like I said, I'm Sri Lankan. It reminds me of when we go from the dry season to the monsoon season, when the first monsoon rains kind of come down, and it brings this earthiness and this greenness in the air. That picks up all the sort of the dry earth and kind of saturates it, and that's the smell I kind of reminisce. And oddly enough, the bottle's red, and our floor was a concrete red at home, so it kind of has a reminiscence of that as well. So I absolutely adore this one, it does perform really well on my skin as well. 7 hours plus, 3 to 4 sprays, and it's sort of cooler spring, autumn sort of weather. Not greatest in the high cold, but the cooler days where the temperatures are 18 to 24 maybe.
If I can jump in, I like the comment that was made by Bean24, where it's spicy, woody, fruity, sweet. And funny, you're speaking about petrichors and the rain, the monsoon, that wet, blah blah blah.
Yes.
I'm not getting any of that. I'm just getting, and as I'm smelling this, I'm like, I'm trying to picture the this moment in your life, and I'm obviously, so like everything, perfume, olfactory, scent memory is so private and so personal to each one of us. I mean, I could smell something and go, ugh, and someone else go, oh man, this is mother's milk to me. So for me on this, and as Bean was writing there, I'm getting a fruity, almost cherry-like, and I don't know whether I'm seeing the red of that bottle and getting that inception of that that there's cherry in here, but I'm getting a fruit component, almost cherry, almost liqueur-like. Yeah, the spices are definitely there. I'm getting an aromatic, like a lavender or something of that nature. So there's an aromatic nature to it.
So there is lavender in it.
Okay, right. But that petrichor that you're talking about, the earth and the rain, I'm like, whoa, I'm not picking that up. But again, for you and in your place where you were, that's definitely generating that scent memory. I love it.
Sorry,
it's a nice fragrance. I actually, funny, I think you know what it is too. If people don't like it, I think what you said before was right, and that is that I found that a lot of the PDMs are very new recruit and semi-pros. For me, I actually like the complexity to this. I like where it started, where it moved. I had it on skin yesterday. Also, very much enjoyed it. This one here, I really, really enjoyed. I'm like, on first thing, I'm like, oh, this is quite different. So this is a good one.
Awesome. I'm glad you like it, and you.
If I were to buy one, KALAN might be the first place that I begin in my journey.
Which is really good, because I think this is the one in the whole house that kind of pushes it slightly into, like you said, the more above the semi-pro type scenario.
Right. Okay.
Sorry,
I'm getting my producer saying something to me. Give me one second.
I think my dog's barking in the background.
That I didn't like. Oh, well, there you go. So Sandra's saying that, sorry, my producer's saying that, that there would be one that I didn't like, which would be KALAN. But in fact, everybody, I actually like this one, and I think maybe I'm now in my journey of my niche where I like complexity to fragrance. I mean, sometimes, yes, I like it to be somewhat linear or familiar to me, but other times I want it to surprise me. And this one really surprised me. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that people who are used to PDM fragrances, this one is kind of like a curveball. It's out the sort of left field a little bit, and that's the reason why there's sort of this love-hate relationship with it. Some people just can it because it's just not for them.
Right. All right, I'm gonna do this. You ready? Second one on skin. So actually already, so going back to Perseus, that's really come down. That's where it was, like cannabis, you know, boom,
Yeah.
boom, that it had to it, has come off. So that's Kalan going on skin now. Yeah, I don't mind it.
Next one is
Next one.
LAYTON.
Yes. All right. I
So-
love that you laugh. Why are you laughing? Why?
No, because I'm getting you back into the group.
I think what are you saying to me that you never thought that this moment would ever be here? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. So
Life is a
LAYTON.
journey.
Sorry, go ahead.
Life is a journey. Never say never.
Yes.
Or as an Italian once said, we were in Milan, this Italian woman, and you know, when I like speaking other languages, and I know that I'm not saying it correctly, but you still like saying certain words. This Italian woman was talking to her husband, and they're walking past. The husband must have said something, and I listen to everybody. Just give you a heads up. I'm always like, boop, 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 boop. And she walks past to him and gives him this really sassy look, and she says to him, "Lever say lever." So rather than saying never, she said it in English. In Italian, lever say lever. And so we always use that now. So whenever Sandra will say something like, "Oh, we're not going to do that," and I'm like, "Lever say lever," you know. So anyway, sorry, go on.
So LAYTON is one of their more popular scents. It was released in 2016, and it's, for me, this is a compliment getter, to be honest. Every time I wear it, I've got compliments from people, and I just love the scent. I initially, when I used to wear it, I thought it might be oud in there, but there isn't. I think it might be the Gaiac wood coming out.
Okay, right.
But it starts with apple, lavender, mandarin orange. It's got violet in the middle, and then vanilla, cardamom, and sandalwood, including Gaiac wood and pepper in the base. So it's a pleasant and nice scent. It does last 7 hours plus, 3 to 4 sprays. They have an extrait version of this as well, which does have oud, rose, almond, coffee in it, called LAYTON Exclusive. So they've kind of taken this same construct and kind of amped it a little bit more. That's supposed to be even more potent than this. But I just like this one. It's subtle, good for the office.
I actually wrote here, because I think I tested this, and I wrote instantly pleasant. So the moment you spray, it's like, boom, I'm here.
Correct.
What do you want? I did write almost a burnt sugar opening. So obviously that vanilla is coming through early in the piece. I don't think I put this one on skin. This would be, so if you're a new recruit and you're new to PDM, I think this would be a great place to start. Super pleasant. I mean, really.
Agreed. And like I said, it's a compliment getter. Everyone likes it. If you're in, and if you're new and it's more a younger scent as well. Whereas some of these ones that we're going to talk about are a little bit more sort of formal.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Now, Mike, I'm going to interrupt you for just 1 second.
Sure, man. I've
got the 2 minute mark from my producer.
Okay.
So we're coming on to our time. This is a question for everybody. Are you okay? Look, I haven't really given the live an actual time. I keep thinking it's an hour, and I don't want to take, it's your Sunday in some parts of the world. It's obviously Monday morning for us here in Australia. So are you okay if we went over to say an hour and 15 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes? Because I'm enjoying this exchange with Mike. If you're okay to stay a little bit longer. But I want to be respectful of everybody's time. So just a few comments quickly to say, are we okay to extend this over an hour, over 60 minutes? I'm getting a sure. How are you, Mike? Are you okay to extend?
Yeah, I've lucky I took in 2 extra hours of leave, mate. So I'm good.
Okay. Go. So, because I know that it's Monday morning here in Australia, and so All right, so we're getting a lot of keep goings. All right, okay. So how about this, Mike? Are you okay if we take this till about 10 o'clock, another 10 more minutes? We've gone through
Yeah,
quite a bit.
absolutely. I think so. We've got 2 more to go, really, and then that bonus one if you really want to focus on it. But yeah. So I
That'd be
think
great.
we should be able to manage.
All right, mate.
So the next one I want to talk about is OAJAN. Now, OAJAN, I did mention this, but the except for Perseus, actually Perseus as well now. All the others sort of come in 75 ml and 125 ml bottles, so they're for the price you do get a decent amount of juice, and they sort of range from 398 AUD Australian dollars through to 498 retail for the 125 ml. So so OAJAN for me, this again, I kind of blind bought this one just before Christmas 22, and with this one, I sprayed it on Christmas Day in this on Christmas Day, and my wife Mel, she walked up and she goes, "What did you spray?" And I was
In a
like,
good way or in a bad way?
yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh no. And I just showed her the bottle. I said this, and she goes, "That smells awesome. Go spray the whole house with it." So I ended up spraying the entire house with OAJAN.
Like a good boy. Yes, yes, man. Yeah, $700 worth. As a house spray. I love it. Yeah, okay.
And it was great because when people walked in, they said, "Oh, the house smells like Christmas." And so for me, this is synonymous with Christmas, and it's got a connection to Christmas now. So when I was in the States last year visiting my parents, Christmas Day, this was my perfume, and it was one of those things that kind of, for me, is connected to Christmas now. So that's OAJAN. It's not a super cold weather scent,
right?
And it's not an outdoor scent; it's an indoor scent, if that makes sense. For me personally, I've tried wearing it outside. It doesn't do anything. It just stays close to the skin.
Right.
And notably, yes, sorry.
I sprayed it on skin. This is another one that I thought, ooh, this is nice. This is, I'm getting like a boozy component out of it, but not in a, for those who are familiar with Liqueur Chanel by Pierre Guillaume, for me, it had a little bit of that kind of vibe to it. I actually like it a lot. I think it's quite nice.
Because it's got sort of cinnamon, honey,
up
top. For me, I get this cherry, like you mentioned with the other one, with KALAN. I get a cherry note to it, but there is no cherry in it.
Right. I think when you said cinnamon, I'm like, yes, okay, yeah, that's spicy cinnamon, yep. But I do get a slight booze out of it, which is very, I mean, I think I'm a bit of a sucker for boozy fragrances.
And I don't know if benzoin does that, but there's no real boozy note in there either. But like I get that kind of spirited, like when you smell a bottle of whiskey or some brandy in the air, that kind of smell that comes out of it.
Yep.
And I mean, I really love this scent. And my wife loves it as well. And it's
I just had a read from one of the notes there that from Jason that how do you pronounce it? OAJAN. Sorry. OAJAN has an angel's share vibe to it. So yeah, for those who are familiar with angel's share, I find that angel's share is like it's really like being very braggy. I am a boozy fragrance, you know. It doesn't leave you guessing. Is like no, please let me tell you, I am a boozy fragrance. Whereas this one here is a little bit more, like you said, it keeps you guessing. I mean, is there cherry? Is there like a cherry liqueur in here? But yeah, it's quite nice. I like it too. Yep.
And so this is part of their Arabian collection. So they've got 4 bottles in that collection. So there's OAJAN, Habdan, Kahuyan, and Hamdani is the other one that they've got. So this is one of 4, and they're also mentioned in the frag community as the 4 horsemen.
Oh, okay, right. Of the apocalypse. Yeah, I love it.
Because they're all in black bottles.
Right. Okay. Nice.
Bit of trivia for you. And then last, one before the last, but one of the main ones, HALTANE.
Okay.
This is one of my favorites. I remember you on, I think, early days asked a lot of us to do our favorite perfume.
Yeah.
And this was mine on your Insta.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yes, I do remember that. Actually, just on that note, everybody, for those who are the OGs, I want to do this again. So I did so for those who are new, I did a call out a little while back saying, if you've got a fragrance that you'd like to review, then send it to me, do a review. I'll put it on my Instagram. We sort of tweaked it so that people can, we put it like a top and tail. But I go back on my Instagram page and I'm like, oh man, and I see all your faces and I'm like, this was early days. And I'm like, you guys are literally the OGs, Vera and Luke and yourself. And so many of you guys that are still part of the journey, which is, so I want to do it again is what I'm saying.
That was awesome trying to do it as well. So this one released in 2021 as a Harrods exclusive from PDM.
Right.
Then sort of released in this was early 21, and then mid 21 they released it to the general public, I guess. Right. This one for me was one of the first perfumes I actually got that had oud in it, and kind of started my interest into oud. Okay. And it's just got this beautiful sort of praline oud combo, which is just, I just absolutely love it. Again, a lot of compliments, works really well in the cold, lasts for 10 hours plus, and it keeps going as your body sort of heats up in the cold.
Right.
And it's got sort of clary sage and sort of lavender, bergamot up top, saffron, which is one of my favorite notes as well.
Because all on card, I haven't sprayed it, but all on card I'm getting are just the aromatics. And so I am getting the lavender, I'm getting that sage. I'm not getting, so you said oud, and I'm like, I'm not getting any of that oud.
So they've got, when you spray it on skin, it's different, Marcelo. Right. It does bring out that oudness. I think it interacts with your chemistry, I guess, and then kind of pops out.
Drop my bottle. Sure.
And and this one only comes in 125 ml as well.
Right.
So. And
this one here felt almost like a little bit of an instant love. So, but from what you're sharing, it sounds like it's a bit more complex than that. But when I first experienced it, I'm like, okay, this is what I can see as a new recruit. But you're saying it's not a new recruit.
I'd say probably an in-betweener between semi-pro and, new recruit. Okay. I think it's...
All right, the oud is coming out now. So on skin, you're right. So on card, all I was getting, aromatics and the clary sage and the brightness of it. And the oud is definitely on skin. I'm going to do an FAQ, everybody, just to give you a heads up. So the perfume FAQs on skin chemistry. I'm doing a lot of research right now. And how skin chemistry, myth or real. And this is why it's taking me a little bit longer to bring to life, because I'm getting so many opposing views on this. And so I want to have a complete picture. But I'm going to tell you now. This, so HALTANE, how do you call it?
HALTANE. Yeah.
HALTANE. On card, very singular. On skin, it was something completely different. Yep. Now the clary sage and the lavender is coming out.
Yep. And like I said, it's on skin, it's completely different. Mm-hmm. And it will last even after a shower. It's still there. So
right, there you go. There you go.
But it's beautiful in the cold.
You have 2 minutes, brother.
Awesome. So that's
no pressure. No pressure.
No, that's fine. And then this is the last one, Marcelo, and I know you don't have a bottle of it, but
yeah, I don't have it. I'm sorry.
And that's Carlisle for me. This is probably their most expensive one, which is at $598. But
okay. That's for 100 mil?
That's for 125. So
right.
It's again, released in 2015, and it's a floral fruity fragrance. Great for winter and cold autumn days. I bought this in December before I headed off to the States, but unfortunately in California, the weather was hotter than over here in summer, so I just really couldn't experience this one. Right. So I'm waiting for winter to come around to really enjoy it. But for me personally, it's more evening, semi-formal dress kind of
Right.
environment. The bit I've tested when it is cold, or when we've had colder days, it does last for 9 hours plus as well. So this is another heavy scent. But yeah, that's,
as you've been saying, they all sound like big performing fragrances. So there's not that there's no subtlety to them, but these are ones that there's good bang for your buck. Basically, there's good value for money.
Yep. And that's why I said it's good for people who are starting their niche journey, that want to spend more money than you would get with your designers, stand out in the crowd, possibly have good quality ingredients, but at a good value, because you spend good money and you want something to last long and you want it to kind of be good value, I guess. And this is one of those houses that you will get value for it, in that sense.
I love it, bro. All right, so let me give you my wrap up. Can I give you my wrap up on my skin?
Sure.
So Perseus, as I mentioned before, for those who are not new to this particular fragrance, I know it's a new one, as Mike was saying, it's just been released. The opening is startling. It's a little bit, if you don't like green, if you don't like overtly sour notes, then persist with it, just persevere on the dry down, which I'm now deeper in now. So it's been, 30 minutes, I think. It's really special. This one is really special. So Perseus surprised me yesterday, and it's doing it again and now. So it's actually quite good. Then on this one was HALTANE. No, not HALTANE. The red one, KALAN.
KALAN, yep.
See, okay, so in my niche journey, KALAN is the one that I find the most exciting, because where it is now is somewhere completely different again, and it's almost to the point where, like, do I like it or do I don't like it, So when I have that in my brain, I'm like, I like it. End of story, So I'll be curious to see how that performs on me, and what sort of reception I get from those around me. Then this was really good too. What was that one?
I think that was OAJAN. Did you spell OAJAN?
Yes, OAJAN. Yeah. So I had the boozy one. Well, it's come off the booze, and I'm getting more ambery woods now. That was really good too. So for those who are new, OAJAN has my vote. And the oud, so for me, believe it or not, I know that oud normally is a base note sort of fragrance. For me, the oud came out really quickly on skin. Those aromatics of the lavender and sage were very prevalent on card. Whereas now, believe it or not, I'm actually getting some of those aromatics come through. The oud is very gentle, very subtle in the base.
Yep. And that's a great place to start for someone who's starting as well, because oud is not overly present, but it's just beautifully blended in nicely. It's not, punching in your face kind of oud.
It's cedar-like. So those who are familiar with the Creed version, now my brain stopped.
Is that a royal oud?
Royal oud, yeah, goodness me. It has a little bit of that. Cedar royal oud kind of feel.
And it does have cedar wood anyway, in the base. So
yeah, it's not bad.
Awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed that. And everyone.
I did enjoy that. I did enjoy that. I hand on my heart, I did enjoy that. And Mike, I appreciate you taking the time, because just so you know, everybody, Mike, actually, you asked to have some time off. So
correct.
Australia, Monday morning, 9 a.m. I mean, you got.
I'm supposed to be at work right now. So.
You got to go to work, baby. And so when I reached out to Mike after I thought, it'd be cool to do a PDM sort of lineup. And obviously for me, Mike is the expert in this space. So I appreciate you taking time off and navigating me through this, and anyone else who might be new to anything PDM, then I appreciate your time, bro.
No, it's been a pleasure, Marcelo, and thank you heaps for the invite and giving me the platform. And hey, love, as you know, I love supporting you. So
I do.
Happy to do it.
Thank you, mate. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Now, do we have any questions for Mike before we say thank you and a biento? Getting a lot of love, Mike, which is nice.
Thanks heaps, guys. this is the great thing about what you've created as well, Marcelo, the community. You know, it's gone. The group is just fantastic. I just, you know, love hanging out with everyone there. When we catch up with Oligarch as well at Oligarch, and it's good friendships there too.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I have to agree with you, and I just this is the thing though, okay, that it's really everybody, because you could, yeah. So it's not. Yes, I know that I'm sort of having this conversation and inviting people to join, but it's also everybody else. I mean, if you guys wanted to get argy-bargy with each other, then it's, you know, how do you stop that, you know? So really, it's everyone collectively. So thank you everyone for being part of this, you know, this wonderful experience. And look, we are across the world. This is what it blows my brain that right now we are across the world and we're all, you know, being able to appreciate, you know, the love of perfumery, which is so cool. I mean, it's a wild little party that we've got going, but I enjoy it. I love it.
I do have to say one thing, Marcelo. So there was another channel I was following, and there was a comment. Hey,
I don't know where you're going with this, so let's not say names.
No. So I put a comment in there supporting the commentary around it, and there was so my thread just went because there was another subscriber who jumped in and said, "Oh, hey, you know, wish there was an opportunity for, you know, us to catch up," and they were in the States. So I said, you know, what a great community we have here in Melbourne and how we catch up and talk. And and the commentary that came back was, "I wish we had such a thing in the US." Right. Because people are so busy doing their own thing, they never take the time to kind of congregate and talk about fragrances and have this. And so, you know, I just wanted to say that because it's such an awesome thing that we do. And, you know, to have people who share same interests and to share that with them is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, look, and just, you know, why this was birthed and why, I mean, bringing people in, you know, like Mike, and last month we had Mike from the US and Max here from Australia. Yeah. So it's really about, so we have a store here in Melbourne called Oligarch. Kevin, for those who if you've seen his fragrance adventures on TikTok. And you know, Kevin invites people into his store, and we actually, he's so generous that he says, bring any fragrance you want. It doesn't have to be an Oligarch fragrance. So you can bring, in this case here, Mike normally likes to bring his PDMs. But it's great because we get a chance to be with like-minded individuals and just share. And there's a nice bond that's created. So this is what this is about too. Now, I'm just going to put a call out before I say bye to Mike. If you want to become a member of the channel, again, it's $4. And anywhere in the world, and we're going to do these lives are every month. Ideally, we want to have 2 spotlighted members to join us. So if, you know, as a member, you can come in, you can be spotlighted similar to what Mike has been done, talk about something that you love. Ideally, tell me in advance so that I can experience them also with you. And that way I can, you know, we can share together. But yeah, so the whole idea is about creating a community where we can talk about something that we all enjoy. Awesome. Boom. Mike, you're a champion.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate you allowing me to jump on in. We'll say goodbye to Mike. Mike,
see you guys. Bye.
Bye, mate. Hang on a second. Sorry, we said bye, but there he is. He jumped out, which is good. Allora, okay, so I'm hoping you guys all enjoyed that. I know I did. And I did experience all these fragrances in advance prior to going through, but I appreciate Mike's navigation through it. And also I do like the structure of because some of the fragrances I did put into that new recruit category. And I'm glad that Mike is saying that, yeah, this is, so for those who are new to PDM, I can see that this would be an awesome house to walk into, to begin to experience what niche perfumery can do for you when it comes to longevity, complexity of fragrance, when it comes to all these things. But I think all you guys are all converted. It's just me who's late to the party, so I apologize for being that. Okay, let me just have a look at some of your messages. All right. All right. Well, everyone, thank you for being here. What I'm going to do in my final thing is for all the Aussies that might be still on the line. I'm hoping you guys are. I know it's a Monday morning, so I thank you Aussie guys for being a part of this. So for those who are still here, a question is, and I think I asked this last time, as we continue to move forward, is this time the right time? I know that right now, prior to starting, I got a few messages from Central Europe going, it's 11 o'clock over here, 11 p.m. So what if, and which is going to be harder for us Aussies, all right? So we're actually being sacrificed on the altar here. Would it be better for us to start at 8 a.m.? Wah, I've already got a tear emoji happening. So 8 a.m., which would mean 10 p.m. in Central Europe, and then I don't know what it means in all the other places around the world, but send me a DM. So send me some sort of message to say whether, I still feel that Monday here in Australia is the best time because that's Sunday for everybody else. I think Sunday's a pretty good time. But let me know, because I do want to continue. And I realize that I am trying to do a one size fits all. But I think that I think that this time slot would work best to sort of accommodate. I know there's going to be a little bit of sacrifice somewhere in the world. Someone's going to get a raw deal. But anyway, let's see. Yeah, so Jared, you're saying it's 7 p.m., which is a great time. I mean, that's such an awesome time. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so we had a competition, and I do want to say thank you. So this here is the glorious people from Libertine Perfumery, an awesome perfume. They're a distribution house here in Australia. They have an incredible range of niche perfumery, and we've become really good friends with the channel. For those who haven't seen that episode where myself and a young lady by the name of Alexandre, she's the marketing manager, we did a video together showing off a little bit of Melbourne and stuff like that. If you haven't seen that, have a look. I'll put a link at the bottom of this live if you want to check that out. But Alexandre is the young lady who I work constantly with, and she's a great supporter. Like I said, when I mentioned that I wanted to do a PDM, and I said, "Can you send me some small samples?" She's like, "Tell me what you need," and away it went. So anyway, thank you to those guys for your support. We had in the Zerjoff lineup that I did on episode 3, the Libertine people donated a 100 ml bottle of Herba Gold, $500 worth. So super generous. And all you had to do was buy a bottle online from their Libertine online store, and you would go into the draw. I did mention that if you bought multiple bottles, you would actually get multiple entries. Now, last night, if I'm allowed to say this, there was actually, I don't know if this gentleman is on here, but last night I get a message going, I want to buy multiples. And I'm like, oh, no worries. Anyway, this gentleman did. He bought multiples. So we have multiples of this individual's name in here. So if it lands on him, then, congrats. It's awesome. It was an awesome little bit of fun. Now, can everybody see that? Somewhat, if I put it here. I was going to put another camera here, but then I was just like, okay. So you ready, everyone? We're going to spin. Good luck. For all those who did buy a bottle, here we go. I'm going to put this on so we can hear the audio. Boop, boop, boop. And we will begin. All right. Good luck. Antonijo. That's where it landed. Congrats. Antonijo, you're the man. Oh, the woman. I'm not sure which one. Anyway, congrats. So reach out to me. We're going to get that bottle of Herba Gold sent out to you. And yeah, awesome. Bada bing. All right, guys, before I wrap up, any questions for me? Feel free to ask me something. Sandy, I'm sorry, brother. So I'm blamed for the. I'm sorry. What can I do? I mean, it's something that I really, really enjoy. I absolutely love the Zerjoff collection. Actually, episode 4 is coming out. All right, so I'm going to give you a warning, Sandy. When you see that thumbnail, just look away. All right. So episode 4 will be coming out soon. All right. Someone's asking. Okay. Have I tried? Okay, so no, Initio is another house that I haven't explored. So PDM and Initio was something I don't know why. I think it was, you know what happened? Sometimes when you walk into a place and all of a sudden there's an explosion when you fall in love, and there's an explosion of different color and movement and everything else. I think what happened is that I walked in, I saw all these different other houses, and I just got distracted. And I always knew that I needed to come back or come into PDM and Initio and things of that nature. But I just, yeah. So anyway, life. I always say life is long in the sense that there's a lot of there's this chance to do everything. So here's my chance to actually start to explore other things. So Initio is another house that I do want to put on my radar. Boom. See, and that's what happened. See, Nasomato Orto Parisi, they took my full attention when I started to experience them, and they blew my brain on their complexity. I also began to fall in love with Alessandro Caltieri in the way that he does things. He's so, just unconventional. Those are fragrances. Some of those are not necessarily repulsive, but they're definitely challenging. And so you're like, what is going on here? And so I find that I've discovered that the PDMs are very beautiful as new recruits into niche. And I think that's probably just what happened. Oh, okay, that smells nice. And then I'm like, ooh, what's that? And I just got pulled away in another direction. A Scent Explorer cameo. Why not? So unfortunately, Ziga, I will explore the Initio house, I promise. It's something that I will go deeper into. And see, and then actually, Vera, Fuea, that was another one. I walked into, so I discovered Fuea here in Australia through Libertine Perfumery. It was Michael Marzano who introduced me to the house. I fell in love with their unusual complexity compositions. It really, a lot of people go, I don't get these fragrances. Whereas for me, I'm like, whoa, it's instant excitement. You see that because the challenge was enjoying, but everything about Fuea, when you wear those fragrances, the projection, the sillage, the way you smell, it's totally unique. So unique. So anyway, distraction. Sorry, Joel, I apologize. But it worked out. Nobody should blind buy. But I know I've got Vic here. Vic he is a true Spartan. I think he's the leader of the blind buying Spartans. I think Vic once made the comment that he does nothing but blind buy. So anyway, I salute you, my friend. Yeah, and Vera, I totally agree with you. The Fueyas are just incredible. Yes, 21. It's just Torino 21. But you know what? Try out 23. I think 23 at the moment, it seems to me that it's getting a little bit of underrated love. But for me, it's a bit of a hidden gem. It's actually it is a floral leaning fragrance. So it does have a lot more floral sort of present. But I would recommend, I actually think it's, I'm looking for youth niche. Okay, well, look, if you're youth, I'm looking for youth niche. And okay, so Lex, I would say from this experience that I just had with PDM, start here, my friend. I can see that the PDMs would be an awesome place to commence your niche journey. Complex enough that the fragrance migrates and does all that exciting stuff that niche perfumery you expect it to do. But at the same time, from what Mike was saying, performance, projection, everything else is definitely on point. Nicely. I've actually stopped buying, so I don't. Yeah, I don't do designers anymore. Which is not, and just so you know, I have no issues at all. A beautiful smell is a beautiful smell. It's just that I'm now looking for that complexity in a fragrance, and so this is where I'm living now with all things niche. If that question is for me, how many have I blind bought? Very, very little. So I had no blind buy policy. The only ones that I blind bought are the Torino 21. The Torinos, the 21, 22, 23. Actually, no, that's 21 I experienced in Milan. 22 I blind bought. 23 I also blind bought. So I try to avoid any level of blind buying. I do like the whole testing experience. So that's what I prefer. Everybody, it is now 10:19. I said that 10:20 would be, or an hour and 20 minutes would be my limit. So I'm about to shut this. Whoa. I appreciate. Checkmate. Thank you. There's a contribution. I thank you. Thank you for that. That's very kind. That's very generous. I do appreciate that. And Acqua di Parma, yes. All right. So just on that comment, Acqua di Parma is definitely a house. That was one of my early niche fragrance houses. For those who've been to Rome, there is the Spanish Steps. Next to the Spanish Steps, there's the Acqua di Parma store. If you haven't had a chance to walk into that, you have to have it. For men, at the back, they have like a barber shop where you can get a shave, a wet shave. The experience in that barbershop is like nothing you've experienced in your life. You'll be sprayed on more perfume than you ever have. So Acqua di Parma is an awesome venue that I would recommend to you. Fair enough. Yep. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, we all like what we like, which is good. Bobby, I salute you. Good for you, man. There's nothing wrong with that. Look, the other thing too, so another comment, just keep your packaging. I now sound like your dad, all right? But keep your packaging. Don't throw away your boxes. Keep your perfumes in a cool, dark place. You'll find that they will continue to macerate in the bottle. Some fragrances, and I've discovered this in a number of fragrances where on opening spray, they're like, hey, it's nice. And then as I take care of my stuff, and then I revisit that bottle again 6 months later, the fragrance has changed. To my nose, and I don't know whether it's inception, but it has changed. Take care of your product. Take care of the bottles. They should last you a very long time. I've got some fragrances that I bought in 2017. All right, so it's been now, what's that, 7 years, 8 years? And they're still potent. They still have presence, So, but again, just take care of your bottles. They should last you for quite a while. Yeah, Sandy, keep all your boxes. I keep your boxes. Put it in their original packaging, and just put it somewhere that's away from heat and the heater and all that sort of stuff. All right, guys, I gotta go. I love you all. I do, as a Latino. I love you guys. I really appreciate your the energy and the love. But I'm gonna close this down now. Thank you for being a part of this live. The next live will come out in a month's time. So for me, they're actually in my calendar. As I said, I wasn't feeling well today. My throat is a little bit on the rusty side. But rain, hail, shine, whatever, the lives will happen at the end of every month. I'll make it a point to be here and to enjoy some time with you guys. If you are a member of the channel and you'd like to be spotlighted for April, send me a DM. I'm looking for 2 people. And then we can start having a conversation. What's the purpose? It's purely about sharing something that you're enjoying, something that you're loving. Could be a house like we did here today, or it could be some new fragrances. Ideally, tell me in advance so that I can ideally have the fragrances here so we can have this conversation and I can experience alongside you so we can share for everybody who joins us on this live. I want to thank you all again. Grazie mille. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support and the strength from everyone. So thank you, guys. Have an awesome day, everyone. Have an awesome Sunday. Have an awesome Monday. We'll see you guys all on the next time. Bye.